Good morning, everyone. Are we live?
We are live.
Live. Hello to everyone joining us. This is Will Faerber, and we're here with Ron and Darcy Branchini this morning for lessons. If you're joining in, they have new footing in their arena, which they spent the last week or so doing, and it looks very beautiful. So we're going to have the first lessons on this new footing and see how it goes. So how's it gone with Trigger since I saw you last?
Good. Hey, Darcy, before you go, can you just check the stream on your phone? Sorry about that, Will. Just check the stream on your phone.
I know.
Okay. All right. It's gone well. So it was a busy week for me, but I was able to work them. We were working for the last.
I just lost your vocal. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, now you're back on there.
Okay.
There you are. I lost you for a minute. There we go.
So what I was saying is that for the last couple weeks, because we didn't have the indoor, we were working outside on the grass, and he was going really well. So that was good. And nice. I've been just doing the same exercises with him that I've been working on in hand work, lunging, and then riding. And do a lot of walk work with him. I did trot a couple times. His trot was nice. They got him there. It took him a minute. Yeah, so looking forward to it. This will be my second time on the new footing.
Very good. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And obviously, it's probably a little deeper than what you had before. So they may be, working a little harder.
Yeah, it's a little different.
But we'll start off with some work in hand.
Okay. Sleep is today too.
He's off to a nice active walk right off the bat. There we go. And just keep moving that outside rein back up the neck a little bit if you can, so you want your hand a little more towards the withers there. And of course, we always want to feel that stretch into that outside rein as well as the inside. I'm just asking me a little more shoulder 4 on the circle there. We get him to engage just a little more and take the stretch down a little deeper. Just going around your circle one more time before we go large. It's getting better. A little more shoulder 4. Try to push those hindquarters out just a little bit as you're going. That's getting better. And you can go ahead and go large down the long side, this time turning by the center line at the top and leg yielding to the right. For those of you watching, this is a very good horse to keep watching his hocks. It's a horse with very straight back end. His hind legs are built very straight with very little ability to flex those hocks. So we have to maximize that to the degree that we can. Yeah, that's very nice. Shoulders leading nicely. Good rhythm in the step. Good. Now go ahead and lengthen the walk up the next long side. See if we can get it a little more active, a little bigger step, and then come back towards me with a little bit of shoulder 4. Watch that outside rein doesn't keep going forward on you there. There you go. So just lengthening, looking for the biggest step we can create here without any tension or run. That's getting better there. Yeah, good. That's getting deeper. This is a horse that you can very easily recognize when he's slowing down and beginning to not move through his back, as he starts taking very short, shallow steps behind with very little flexion in the hocks. Now a little shoulder 4 coming down the next long side. Good, right about there. And of course, what we're looking for is just what you're doing, that he's not bending in the neck more than he's bending in the body. That's really quite good. And now on the circle here at this end, let's stretch him all the way down again. Bring him a little more shoulder 4, push the hindquarters out away from you a little bit again to engage that inside hind leg a little more. Here we go. Now we're starting to get there like that. Good. Watch how as he started to stretch down, his hock started to flex more and he started stepping deeper into the body. One more circle there. So want the hindquarters to go out a little bit. Watch as you're coming around the circle there, his hindquarters are actually to the inside. So we need to try to push him out just a little bit more and get a little more activity from that. Getting better. There we go, like that, all the way down there. Very nice. Just continue around the circle here, just getting him a little bit deeper one more time before we switch directions. There we go. That's getting better. There we go. Keep that going for just a second. I want him to get a little bit deeper in that stretch still. Yeah, it's getting better. There we go. Now you can go ahead and walk there and let him halt, and we'll change directions and work on the other side for a moment. Just staying on the circle here first time around. Same thing, try to push the hindquarters a little bit more to the outside. That's getting better. Yeah, that's getting better. A little more active. There we go. That's getting better. And go large up the next long side and turn by the center line at the top and leg heel to the left. Very nice there. That's getting much better. Step active. Good. That's getting better with every step now. Stretch is getting deeper. Very nice. Keep that. Now go ahead and lengthen the stride up the next long side and come back towards me with a little bit of shoulder forward. Good. Good. Very nice right there. And go around the circle here. Now, when you get to the center line, go ahead and stop. Very nice. Now, I want you to go ahead and put your side reins on. We're going to do a little more work in hand with the side reins like we did the last time, and then bring him up a little bit and see if we can maintain that position with him coming up a little bit and work on a few halts and things like that. Okay. See if we can do those again without him coming off the bit.
Where do you want them to be right now? It's about here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Where they are is fine. They're really just, once again, it's kind of like training wheels. They're just there. They give you a little help if he starts to come out of the bridle on you there. But you can go ahead and switch sides.
Stay in the same direction?
You can go ahead and switch sides and go to the left now again. And we'll just work on a circle down here once you get that going.
Side reins here. Ooh.
There. Very nice. And go ahead and start from the stretch all the way down once you get going there. And we can begin to experiment with where he can come to without changing the gait. So remember, everyone watching this, dressage is all about movement, perfecting the movement. We're not trying to create a statue. So if what we do with the head and neck position, for instance, affects the movement, then it's not any good. In other words, if we bring the head and neck to a certain position and we lose the movement of the horse coming through the back, then it's really pretty valueless. So we always value movement above position, if you will. Make that walk a little bit more active there in the circle. Like that, good. There. Now we'll go ahead and bring him up just a little bit. So we're trying to keep that same step, but you're not going to let him stretch all the way down. We're going to stop at that sort of about right there is about right for him. And once again, we always have to look at how a horse is built. This horse is built with a neck that comes very straight forward out of his body. It doesn't go up and over like some of these fabulous warm bloods or like a Frisian or an Andalusian. And keep that walk going. Just keeping him steady there in that more of a working position like that. And that's really quite good. His walk is still stepping. Good. Now, whenever you like there, just ask him to halt and see if he can stay soft in the jaw and poll as you ask him to halt without just bringing his head up into the air. Like that. That's what I wanted to have happen. Just like that. You see how it kind of tried to come out of the bit a little bit, but with a little bit of help. Once again, the side reins are not holding him down in the position, but they just gave you a little help to keep it there.
Yep.
Very nice. Now stretch him all the way down again on the circle. That's it. And all the way down in the stretch one more time, making it a little more active. You push him out with the hindquarters a little bit more to engage that inside hind leg like that. Good. And now just ask him to come up. So you're just going to take a little more contact, bringing the pole up a little bit, but trying not to lose the movement. About like that for him is really quite nice right there. That's really quite good. He's softening at the jaw and pole. That's what we want to see. Without any tension. Keep that going. Hindquarters just a little bit more outside again as you keep him in that working position. That's good right there. Very nice. That's about right for him. It's about right there. That's about what he can do. And as you come to the center line, again, ask him to halt. Just keep there you go. He's softening a little bit there for you. Let's walk on. I'm going to do that one more time. He kind of came up out of it a little bit that time. Okay. So then walk on again. So I think you're get him a little more shoulder forward before we ask him to halt. That'll help you keep him in the reins a little bit more. Move your outside hand back. There you go, like that. Good. You're already on your way there. And once again, a little more active as you push the hindquarters a little bit more outside again. There, about there. That's good. Here's a nice soft flexion. As you come to the center line, ask him to halt again. And just closing your fingers just like you would, but without stiffening your hand. There, like that. That's it. Takes a few steps. It's all right. All right, now just give and take. Just give and take a little bit, so don't let him grab hold of you. That's not bad. Walk on again. We'll do it again. So once again, put him a little more shoulder forward on your circle. That'll help you keep him in the reins also. Good. Not bad. Let the neck pole come up just a little bit now, so bring him up just a little bit. Not a lot. There, now ask him to halt again. There we go. That was better. Walk on again. Do it one more time. Once again, a little more shoulder forward on your circle. That'll help you to get him in the outside rein. And then bring the pole up just a little bit from where you have it there. And again, ask him to halt. And just Keep him steady right there. Just kind of soften him with it. That's it. Just give him take. We never want to just fix our hand so the horse fights against it. We always have to give and take a little bit. Walk on again. We're going to do that one more time. And once again, a little more shoulder 4 on your circle there. We can keep him engaging, keeping him in the outside rein a little bit. Yeah, about like that right there. Now ask him to halt again. Good. Go ahead and walk on again. That time he didn't pull his head up. Once again, we want to close our fingers, but never stiffly. We never want to just grab a hold of his mouth. It's always a gradual thing of giving and taking. Horse is always going to win a battle of pulling, which is why people go to heavier and heavier bits. But if you learn to give and take correctly, there's nothing for them to hang on to. That's it. Now really walk it out. Now really make him stretch all the way down, or ask him to stretch all the way down, and increase the step a little bit more. Just feel like you keep that soft contact with him. He stays soft and pliable there at the jaw and pull like that, wherever he finds that comfortable. And go and ask him to halt again as you come to the center line right there. There. That's better. Try again. Keep asking. Now that was much better that time. It's hard for me to see now, but as you're coming around the corner there, he was softening nicely. So let's let him walk on and then stop, and let's go the other way now. Okay. So that's just something to keep working on. This is good for you and good for him, as it teaches you to use your hands in a way that's giving, not always taking. The first thing I do when I feel a horse pull on me is to give for a second, and then I take back, because if that initial, they try to dive into the bridle, if I pull back right away, they're just going to hang into the hand. And as they get better and stronger, this all just becomes easier and easier for them. So once again, staying on the circle display, let him stretch all the way down into the side reins. A little more active again. Let's really concentrate on just really getting it to step out again. And that's the other thing, when we start working on things like this, that we're sure that we come back to that big movement again. That being the most important thing that we're doing. This is just beginning to get some ideas here. Like that. Good. A little more active. And you can let him stay about midway there. That's getting better there, like that. Good. Yeah, good. Let it come up just a little bit more. Try to move that outside hand back along his neck there a little bit. Stay back. You're getting a little bit ahead of him. Try to stay right at his shoulder so he's not falling behind you. Good stretch there. Now bring him up from that stretch. That'd be way up. About like that is good. Right there. Right there is good. Now that's a nice soft feel for him right there. Now ask him to halt. Oh, and just stop moving yourself. Not bad. Walk on again. Kind of lift it up a little bit and kind of pulled up into the bridle a little bit. Again, I don't expect this to be perfect at the moment. This is something you'll continue working on as he develops. And once again, a big stretch all the way down, making it a little more active again. That. All the way down there like that. Now increasing the stretch, increasing the activity rather. Now let him just come up about midway. Not much further than where you have it there, but try to soften while you're moving. Be sure that you have contact and just soften a little bit so that you feel where you are, that it's not resistive, that he's not resisting upwards against the bit on you. That you can feel that nice soft passiveness in your hands, so to speak, without him wanting to pull out of it. Take him a little more shoulder 4. Once again, watch that outside rein is getting back on his neck again, moving that back, and be sure you're not getting ahead of him. There. And just while you're walking here, just that concept of just getting a soft contact with his mouth so it feels soft in your hands. It doesn't feel like anything's stiffening against your fingers. Like that. Keep going. Not quite ready yet. Now bring him up a little bit, once again with the outside rein, asking for a little more shoulder 4 on the circle. This is where we also begin to ask for a little more control from the outside rein and ask him to halt now. There. Like how he's softening there. And ask him to halt. He softened at the last moment. That's good. We can stop with that. So that's something you're going to continue to work with. Once again, developing that feel as you walk so you really feel like you have him really soft in your fingers and he's staying there without trying to pull out of the reins.
Yep.
And now let's put him on the lunge line here for a moment and see how his trot is looking.
Getting used to sand being on everything. It's like being at the beach.
Well, once again, that should settle down as your base, as it packs into your base a little bit.
Yeah.
With the right water consistency. But what I'm seeing here is moving quite nicely. It's not overly affecting how he's stepping or anything. So the right depth. They don't seem to be laboring too much.
Yeah, we really, like Darcy was saying, we haven't really been on it very much since Thursday. So.
Very nice. Stretching into that nicely. So since we've already done quite a bit of work here, we don't have to do too much of this on the lunge line. So just going to stretch into it and you can ask him to trot. As we watch this, we watch to see what happens, whether he goes hollow or not. As he brings his head up a little bit, but pretty much goes right back into the stretch. That's very nice. It used to take quite a while to get him to make that transition. It's starting to get better now. There we go. Now watch, for those of you watching, watch how the underside of his neck, as it gets better, the underside of the neck begins to relax, and that's what tells us he's beginning to swing through his back. When Ron started with this horse, he was very ewe-necked. And you could just see him pulling himself along. When you tried to trot him, his head would just go in the air and he'd pull himself along by his shoulders, which is what it means when you see a horse that's ewe-necked. That's getting better. There we go. That's getting better now. That's looking much better. Good. Now we're starting to see a better hind and front leg moving and swinging on those diagonal pairs. Much better. But we're always looking for them. The horse has been correctly trained. No matter what level it's going, the front and back legs on the diagonal pairs will swing together. And that's also true of when they're in collection. We're seeing these horses today having these ridiculous exaggerated front legs, but if you watch what their back legs are doing, they're falling out behind the horse. Real collection is the degree the thrust of the hind legs lifts the front end into the air. In other words, gets them out of the way of the front end of the back end trying to come through. But not the exaggerated nonsense that we're now seeing in the show ring. That's looking pretty good there. Better. Now go ahead and stop for a minute. We're going to just shorten the side range just a little bit. They're a little bit on the long side, so when he goes into the stretch, I want him to stretch into the contact with them. So take them up about 3 holes on either side to start with. And by the way, anyone watching here, if you have any questions about what we're doing, feel free to post them here where this is posted on the fans and follower site, and I'll be happy to answer those questions later on. Gotta move him away from you a bit there. That's more like it. And you can go ahead back into the trot. That's more like it. It's looking better now. Now it's getting better. There we go. Now, as you come to the wall on this side, ask him to canter, or the next wall you get to, wherever. Next time around here. We don't expect to see a great canter, but we'll just do it once every time just to see how it's coming along. Actually, that was a pretty nice transition for him. I see he wants to pull his head up and get a little hollow in it, but that's actually looking like a better canter. There he goes. That's actually an improvement for him. Starting to let the neck come out in front of him. There, like that. That's actually for him an improvement. Go ahead and back to the trot now. That's starting to look like something. And of course, we don't worry about what those transitions look like because they're always going to be difficult until the horse settles in the gaits. Then you can start thinking about whether the transitions are beautiful or not. And generally, they will become beautiful all by themselves. When you have a good trot and a good canter, all of a sudden they'll have a good transition. But if you get hung up on transitions too early, you end up just annoying the horse and losing all the impulsion. But that was an improvement. There, it's getting good. Very nice there. Very nice. Once again, we're always looking for that underside of the neck to relax. And let him walk again. Very nice. Now that was nice in that downward position, how he kept stretching the neck on down and actually made quite a nice transition into the walk. That was good. As you come to the center line and where there you can change directions, let's go the other way. Very good. Now notice how he stretches down. All of a sudden, the walk started to step more actively forward with a better rhythm. Good there. And you can ask him to trot. Watch how he pulls his head up a little bit in that downwards transition, and then the upwards transition rather becomes right back into the stretch. So that used to take quite a while just to get him to make that transition from one to the other. You can see he is working a little harder. These horses have just been worked, maybe this one once or so in this new footing, which is a little deeper than what they had before. So you can see him working a little harder on it. But that's really quite nice now. Good trot there. Notice he has quite a good flexion in his hocks as he's stepping. There's no tension in the other side of his neck. It's getting a good rhythm. Good. The next time you come around to the wall on the other side, ask him to canter. Let's see what it looks like on this side today. Yeah, that was actually quite a nice transition. Very nice, very nice. Now this is the best canter we've seen with him. Really nice. The neck is starting to come out. We want to see a little more relaxation in that underside of the neck, but that's not bad. Keep that going for just a moment. Just want to see if he'll release a little more. There, good. Now all the way back to the trot now. Not perfect yet, but certainly an improvement. The horse used to have what I call a Pepe Le Pew canter, where they kind of boom, boom, they're hopping up and down and bracing against their front leg. So he's beginning to swing through his back now in the canter. But we never want to do a lot of the canter until the horse does release through its back and begin to swing through its back in the canter. Otherwise, we just tend to make the horses sore. Good trot there. Very nice. Good trot right there. And let him walk. That really got to a very nice place in the trot there, and we're ready to put you on the horse. Is Darcy here with us still? That was good work. That trot really looked nice at the end of that.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good for the new footing.
Yeah, but you can see he's struggling with it. He's once in a while kind of losing his balance there a little bit and losing a step. So it's always, we have to always take that in consideration when we change the footing with the horse. Even though it might be much better footing, but it may be a little bit deeper, which is what this is.
Yeah, the rubber loose, so consistency at all, just like, you know, they'd walk.
Yep. Whereas your other footing was quite slippery, it looked like, where they lose their back end out from underneath them.
Yes, did go down a couple times. Not with me on them, but when I was especially in the beginning when he was kind of going a little fast and leaning in, you know, he would slip out. We're gonna keep the side reins on.
Keep the side reins on. We're going to go on the lunge line here to start with. And the side reins at this kind of length are not in any way holding the horse in a frame. They're just helping you a little bit, like training wheels on a bicycle, to keep it from getting too far out of whack as you learned the skill of being able to maintain contact. But they're not fixing the horse into a frame.
I did work them with the side rein up. It's good walk out of them. But you know, that always changes on lesson day.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a little bit more workout for us too, walking, you know, doing the lunging.
Yeah, so if you feel that, that's what they're doing too. So, like walking on the beach.
Yep. Come on, buddy. Yeah. Come on, dude. He's like, nope. Come on. Walk on.
And that will also be, learning to learn how much water you need on this ring to get it packed right. Just like, you've ridden on a wet beach is very different than riding on a dry one, right?
Yep.
So finding that right moisture content that keeps the right pack to it, so to speak.
Sure. No, hold it. We're going in. Yeah, so let me get around. Excited.
Notice the way we step through these things, that we don't try to make any drastic changes, that we don't all of a sudden take everything off and then jump on. So we do all these things to build up to this without changing much, a little bit each time as we go from the work in hand to the lunging to the now riding. This horse was struggling a great deal. It was almost impossible for him to carry Ron. And so he would just hollow and run with this kind of frantic upside, kind of trotting, how to describe it, but hollow without coming from behind, which makes it god awful to ride because there's no thrust. A horse that's not working over its back is not pushing you out of the saddle. So it makes it very hard if you had any real distance to go. And that's what the thing with things like gaited horses, what they do is they take that out. So the horse is very flat, but it never has any thrust. So the horses all move just flat-footed, which for people who, as I say, with gaited horses, they always talk about, oh, it's just like sitting in an armchair. Well, if you ever tried to go anywhere on a horse like that, you'd find that you wouldn't get far. Like that. And of course, we start off just letting them stretch out in the walk, finding the balance in the walk as we add the rider's weight. We don't just automatically go into a trot and start going. We let him find his balance in the walk first. And of course, we are taking into consideration he's got a different footing here today. So it may take him a few moments to adjust. And it may be a little more of a struggle for him once we start the trot. We'll see. I like his walk now, though. That's really quite nice, stretching into it there. And once again, watch how he stretched into it. All of a sudden, the back leg started stepping with more rhythm and a deeper step under the body. Really nice there. And as you come around to the center line this time, he's got a nice stretch in the walk. Ask him up into the trot. And of course, we don't worry about the transition. Just let him make it as best that he can without trying to hold him in a frame or anything. Let him find his balance underneath you. See how he kind of pulls up for a minute, but right away gets right back into the stretch. That's wonderful and very quick. It used to take us quite a while to get that to happen. That's really good. Like that. Good job. Really nice there. Keep that going. Excellent work today. And how easy it is, Ron, when it feels like he's working over its back. It's very simple to rise the trot, isn't it? It feels easy.
Yep.
The horse is pushing you up, and you feel like you can establish rhythm. Really good. That's really quite nice. That's probably the fastest we've seen him come around to a good trot. That was really good. Really nice right there. Very nice. That's excellent work today. And ask him back to a walk again. Just like that, and taking your time. He didn't go really hollow on you. That was really good. And go ahead and change directions. That was excellent. By far the fastest we've seen him get there.
Yeah, that's really good. It took me a while to get to that yesterday when I worked him. Not yesterday, on Friday when I worked him. But once he figured it out, he was.
And to me, what makes riding interesting is working with them. I mean, if all we did was get on them and ride around in a ring, I would find that very, very boring. But the fact that we have to keep thinking about what the horse is it doing the right thing, analyzing what we're doing. There's really no time to be bored if you are riding correctly in a correct way, that you're analyzing and trying to better the horse all the time. Very nice. So if we need a little deeper stretch, always just, there we go. Very nice. It's going a little bit shoulder 4 on the circle if you need to. But that's really coming nicely now. And you can ask him to trot. You see how he just pulled himself for a moment. First few strides, but pretty quickly getting right back into the stretch. And that's why we don't worry about those transitions yet, because he's not quite ready to do that. If you did, you just end up shorting him down, shortening his stride rather than hollowing it back. Okay, let him find it. There you go. So then keep those reins pretty loose and just trying to move his hindquarters a little bit to the outside with your inside leg a little bit. And it's getting better. It's getting better. Good. Now we're getting there. Good. There, now we're finding it. Good. Good there. Very nice. Much better again there. Good. Really good now. Much better. Just keep going until he locks into it. Really nice. Good. A little bit deeper one more time. Let him move his hindquarters outside with your inside leg a little bit, so engage that inside hind leg again. Just soft, just giving and taking with your inside leg, rein rather, a little bit. Keep him looking in that direction. In the beginning of training, it's mostly the inside aids, inside rein, inside leg. As the horse progresses in training, then it becomes more diagonal aids. Keep that going. Obviously, it's a little bit harder for him this direction, though he's not completely disengaging on you. Yeah, good. Good. That's better. Good. There, good, good, good there. There, starting to get better. There we go. Now let him walk again. So because that took a little time to get all the way there, I'm going to immediately want to reward him when he did and let him walk out and stretch. You can run off the lunge line. Just go ahead and leave the side reins on, but we'll unhook the lunge line and do a little work in the walk and maybe a little trot before we finish. But that was really good. This is coming easier and easier for him all the time. Nicely done. And just go ahead and walk on large around the arena, letting him stretch out in front of you. Remembering to stretch yourself up, carrying yourself, lifting your chest, flattening your shoulder blades into your back, so that we carry ourselves. We never want to sit in a saddle like, how to describe it? In other words, a lump of something there. We always want to keep stretching ourselves up, carrying ourselves so that we don't overburden the back of the horse. Nice big walk. Keep that going as you go large. Good, like that. That's what I want to see. There's a good walk now. Keep that going. Good. That's really nice. Like that. Keep that. As you come to this end, turn by the center line here and do a leg yield to the left. Not bad. We'll do that one more time by the center line here, turning and doing a little leg yield to the right. So it's starting to happen. There, good. Last two steps are coming better. And change the rein on the next diagonal. And go ahead and go large. Once again, let him have the reins out in front of you. Concentrate on using your legs alternately in the walk when you need to create a little more energy. It begins to step forward and swing a little better. And when you get down to the other end, we'll turn and try that leg yield to the right, to the left rather, to the left. Good walk there. Good, that's pretty good leg yield there. Stepping over. Just kind of lost the shoulder a little bit at the very end there. He kind of threw his shoulder out a little too far, but not bad. Most of it was really quite good. Now let's try a little shoulder forward down the next long side. So all you're going to do is both hands are going to move a little bit to the inside just to displace his shoulders a little bit off the rail, not real far. It's just called a shoulder forward. It's not a shoulder in yet, but just enough that he engages that inside hind leg a little more. About like that is really good. That's plenty. There. That's actually very good. Right there, it's fine. Just like that. Now, staying to the right on the circle here, ask him to trot on the circle. Again, we don't worry too much about the transition. That will be what it will be at the moment, but if you'll stretch into the contact, there we go. It's coming nicely already. Good, there we go. Good job. Just keeping that active. Very nice. Go ahead and go large in that. For him, that's quite good. Good. And keep that going. Good. And circle again here. Using this circle to help you get him a little bit shoulder forward on the circle, help him engage that inside hind leg a little bit. If he wants to stretch all the way down, that's where we'd like him to be right now. It's actually quite good right there. Very nice. And go large again. And change the rein on the next diagonal. Good on the turn. And then once we change, let's go in the circle here right away to help him engage that inside hind leg. Find his balance on the circle. Right there. Remember, it's perfectly fine at this level to use that open leading rein. So your hand just comes to the inside like that. That was quite good. You're on the correct diagonal. That's good. Really good there. Good. Good. Really good. Keep that.
Trying to pull me to the outside.
And on the circle here again. Watch your shoulders don't drop a little bit forward. Keep yourself stretched up a little bit. Now circle there. That's better. A little harder for him in this direction. There we go. Keep it going. Good job. There you go. You can see he's struggling a little bit there in the footing. Good. Now go ahead and change back across the diagonal again. He's starting to stretch into a little bit. That's because he goes a little better that way. Let's stop on the other side. And on a circle here, and all we're looking for is a final stretch here, just to let him settle into it. One last time here, like that. Good. Good there. A little bit more active there. There, good. There. And ask him to walk. Very nicely done. And you may halt out in the center there and dismount. That was really good. Let's say a few minutes of
Go ahead.
I said you could see him struggling a little bit here and there with the footing, especially in the other direction a little bit. But really, that was a very good ride today. For him, that was excellent. Very nice. And you can let him halt and dismount. Really nice there. That's really nice. That we just released for you. Once again, just give and take. Really relax your legs, relax your seat. And you can see how just trying to make the downwards transition, how when we lose that bit of energy swinging through his back, we lose the frame as well. So we're not going to worry about that because he's just not ready to hold himself up at that level. But we stopped in a nice place there and you may dismount. Great workout this morning.
Yeah, it was good.
Afternoon for you guys, but that was really good. Once again, really good in the new footing. Once again, struggling a little bit, but not bad at all. It really came around. The transitions are coming better. His canter was better today.
I gotta tell you that it feels amazing to freak the camera out.
Oops. There we go.
Actually be on that you talk about the wave.
Yes.
It just pushes you right out of the saddle, and then when he goes and hollows again, it's so uncomfortable. It's amazing.
You're trying to pull yourself out of a hole instead of just being carried along. And you say you can imagine if you had to go any distance, if you're out doing something on a horse and had to go for miles and miles, you could see how exhausting it would be for you and the horse if it weren't moving over its back. Kind of what people have gotten used to some degree. Dressage has moved away. Competitive dressage has moved more and more towards hollow horses with exaggerated gaits. I mean, I see some of the people that the upper levels today. I just think, well, imagine if you had to go down and gallop down to, or canter, or trot even down to a fence on one of those horses.
Yeah.
They would plow right through it because they're so on their forehand, even though they're moving their legs. That's what people have to get to understand in lots, that how high the knees come, going like this, has nothing to do with whether the horse is on the forehand or not. I mean, the extreme example of that is Tennessee walkers and saddlebreds and things like this, gaited horses.
Yep.
They're always on their forehand all of the time, no matter how high they raise their knees up, has nothing to do with it. Horses get off their forehand when the thrust of the hind leg lifts the front end off the ground.
Yeah.
And then it becomes easy and comfortable to ride. And once again, you could do it for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Darcy, I think, is almost ready. We'll do a quick change here.
Any questions there from you to finish this one?
No, I think I got my homework. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. I know I've got the tools, so it's just getting him used to this and doing more of it. So.
Exactly right. Well, great job this morning. All right, well, we'll take a little break here for 5 minutes, and I'll see you back here in a minute. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with the next lesson.
Great, thanks, Will.
Of course.
We're live.
Hi, everybody. Will Faerber here, and I'm back with Darcy Branchini, now with Calvin, who actually looks quite fit these days. He's really looking quite shapely. We used to start off, his belly would kind of be hanging down, and he's starting off looking like an athlete, so that's wonderful. How's it gone since I saw you last?
Good. I mean, we definitely had a bit of an interruption with our ring not being, we couldn't use it while we were waiting for the new footing. So we did a lot of work outside in the grass. And actually, I think it was good for both of us in a way, because there's no wall to rely on.
Yeah.
So it was helpful, and he started to do really well out there. I mean, the first few times, I think it was more like, are you listening to me, and are we going where we want to go? But then after that, I started getting some really nice stretches out there. So, and then we've worked in here twice, and I am realizing it's pretty deep, especially after watching Trigger and seeing what it looks like where Trigger was. So I guess we'll see what happens,
Yeah, and once again, experiment with how much water you put on it.
I think right.
And, as I say, it's like a beach. A wet beach is very different than a dry beach. So it is sand, so it does make a difference. But see how it goes, and if not, you might have to take a little bit out. But see how it goes. Give it some time to impact and really, get a base going there. All right. Well, let's start with some work in hand then and see where we get to. Mm-hmm. Ask for a little more active step there. It's a pretty good stretch, but it looks like he's just kind of smelling the ground. Needs a little more activity there. Watch that you don't get too far forward on him. Remember, you should be at his shoulders, not way up near his head there doing this. Are those side reins okay? Or are they kind of catching on him there a little bit? Maybe we want to push him back up his neck there, out of the way there, over the top of the saddle perhaps. There we go. This is starting to look better. The step is starting to enlarge now. Very nice there. And go ahead and keep going large now that we've got him beginning to get a little more activated here. And when you get up to the other end, turn by the center line and leg heel to the right. Okay. Come on, Calvin.
He already peed outside because Ron doesn't want him peeing in here all the time.
Yeah, that's new stuff.
It started to stink in here.
Yeah.
So now I just walk him outside, right? And he actually goes. I think he just in his stall. I don't know. Or it's like the second I put the reins over is when he wants to. So maybe it's just the idea of working.
Yeah. That's looking better now. We'll turn by the center line at the top and leg heel to the right. Good. Nice active step. Now ask for leaving a little bit more active walk for a moment. He gets back to the rail, going straight. See if we can get even a bigger step. And turn down the center line here as you come to the center line, and leg heel one more time to the right, and then come back to me with shoulder forward down the next long side. A little more step over there, starting to happen there. I'm going to have you do that one more time. Let's see if we can get a little more crossing over there. He kind of threw his shoulders out at the last. He started to step over more, but then he just kind of moved his shoulders over so far that he kind of straightened himself out. So start your leg yield as you come around the circle. As you start to come around, you want to get about yay far. Now start to leg yield now before he totally straightens out. Now later on, you go straight and then leg yield. In the beginning, it's always easier to start the leg yield on the turn because it's naturally sending the horse to the outside a little bit. That's better now, much better now. There you go, keep that. I'll go ahead and do a shoulder 4 going away from us on the next long side. See, that's a little harder for him there. Go ahead and try that again, coming back down the next long side. We need to move the shoulders off the rail a little bit more. Wasn't quite a shoulder 4 there. That's more like it. There you go, about like that. Good. Keep that going. Now you've got a shoulder 4. Keep it going down the long side. Very nice, right there. Good. Keep that. And as you come to this end, back onto your circle. Let him stretch all the way down once, keeping him active, getting a little bit shoulder 4. And once you get the stretch all the way down, we're going to bring him up more into a working position in the walk. Very good there, all the way down. And as you bring him up a little bit, try to keep him a little bit shoulder 4 on your circle. Once again, that'll help you to maintain the frame. I think it come up a little bit more. Good. A little bit shoulder 4. Get a little contact with your outside rein. Be sure you have contact with both. And of course, when I say contact, I never mean a steady pull against the horse's mouth as such a thing. The correct contact with the horse is the weight of the rein when they're correct. If they're not, we have to give and take a little bit. We never want to just fix our hands against the horse. Now stretch him all the way down again. Let it go all the way down, but activate the walk and ask it to come a little bit larger as he stretches down. Like that. Good. There you go, all the way down there. And now bringing him up a little bit now. So we're trying to bring him up about midway, or wherever it feels comfortable that you can maintain the same rhythm. They're kind of stalling out on us. That's what happens if the head gets too high, the back end stops moving. That's a better position there. Doesn't have to have a lot of flexion, just up in a little more lifted position of the head and neck there, but maintaining that. There you go, softening it. There's what I'm looking for right there. Good. Very nicely done. And now let him stretch all the way down again. And as you do, ask him to lengthen the walk. So try to make the walk bigger as you, so that the stretch comes from you activating the back end and then you're just releasing the rein a little bit, and that impulsion coming through the body of the horse should help bring him forward into the contact like that. All right, so as you come to the center line, you can halt and change directions. And just try to soften him into the halt. I'm not looking for a perfect halt, but if you'll stay steady, good. And not bad at all, quite nice. And change directions. A little bit more shoulder 4 there on their circle to get him to stretch a little deeper, activate that back end a little bit more by bringing him into a shoulder 4. There, he starts to step deeper into the body. Careful that you're not walking out in front of him. Be sure make him step up to you rather than, if you feel like you're suddenly alongside his head, you know that he's dropping back behind you. Go ahead and go large now in the walk. Turn by the center line at the top and leg heel to the left. Good. Yeah, that's starting nicely. Good. Keep it going like that. Really quite good there. Quite good. Very nice. Keep it going. And I'm stretching all the way back down on the circle here. A little more active again as he stretches down. I want to see a little more activity coming through the steps, swinging more actively through the body. Like that. And staying on your circle now that you have that, beginning to ask him to come up a little bit. So try to maintain that same step, but just all you're doing is just bringing his pole up a bit and see where he can come to without losing the step. About like that. Very nice there. Now go ahead and go large in the walk down the next long side, then come back to me with a little shoulder 4. A little more active, starting to fall out behind a little bit. Good there. Keep that going. Good. Good job. Keep up with him. Just a little more active, starting to die a little bit there. And then back onto the circle here. Stretch him all the way down once. All the way down. That's really good. A little bit deeper before we start to bring him up again. There we go, like that. Good, better. Good. Now just bring his pole up in the walk. Bring him up more to a working position. Like that. Keep that. And as you come to the center line, just ask him to halt. Keep softening him with your fingers a little bit. Don't ever let it become just a pull against his mouth. Takes him a few seconds to halt. Yeah, not bad at all there. Very nice. Kind of fell out behind a little bit just in the halt, but that's not bad. Let's go ahead and start the lunge. Put him on the lunge now. Well, that's coming quite nicely. Hey, Calvin. He always looks like he's looking in the camera. Say hello to all your fans out there, Calvin.
Like, hello, everybody on Facebook.
Did the college there go back into session? Are they still?
Yeah, they start end of August. The intention is that they are going to. However, Cornell went from like everything was, if you were vaccinated, you could be on campus, no masks, to like all of a sudden they started adding a few restrictions. So now they're back down to, doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not, they want everybody on campus to have a mask on. So,
Yep.
Which I understand. It's
Yeah, completely.
that we're here again, you know.
Yep. Well.
And then
all the anti-vaxxers.
There is a mandate for students to be vaccinated. I just don't know. I half wonder if we're going to see something in the courts. There's been so much about that, like people fighting back.
Yeah. Well, every day there's people that, another GOP guy the other day just died. It's just, I don't know what to say about that. Like I said, when I was a child, there were still people in my class who had polio and things like that. We still had all those reminders around us of what what happened to people who didn't get vaccinated for those kind of things back in the past. But how quickly people forget.
Agree. Come on.
Calvin. Come on, buddy boy. More active there. There it goes. Starting to turn it on there a little bit. You can go ahead and ask him to trot. This is being a little slowed down on you there. That's good. Starting to stretch into it a little bit. It takes him a few minutes to get his gears going.
He's like, I'm protesting.
Saying this is a little deep in here for me. Calvin's always one of those reluctant athletes. Once he gets going, he's good, but it always takes him a few minutes to decide that it's good and that he wants to actually work. But I always say better lazy than crazy. That's getting there. Just keep trying to just build on that a little bit until we get a little more active trot. A little more so, and watch that you're not getting out in front of him there. That will stop him also. So stay back. You want to always stay at that triangle formed by your line in front and the whip behind. So you're always in the middle of the horse's body, so to speak. That's getting better now. Come on, Calvin. Just to wake him up a little bit, as you come around to the next wall, ask him to canter. Let him canter a little bit, get his blood going. Nice stretch now. Could be a little more active, but good stretch. Good. And ask him again. The trot's getting better now, anyway. All right. Now let's let him stay in the trot for a second. The whole point of the canter was just to get him a little more activated, which it did do. So once he gets there, we'll stay with that for a moment.
It's
And once again, a little more active, see if we can get a little more out of him. As you come to the center line, go ahead and let him halt, come to a walk and halt and change directions. Let me just see what he does the other way, just to switch it up so we're not fighting too hard to get this side going. But it got better. And go ahead and ask him to trot. There we go. That's better. For whatever reason, he's a little more active this way. Good, keep that going. That's better. Now, as you come around to the wall on the other side, ask him to canter. And again. Now ask him back to the trot before he breaks. the trot for a minute. That's better. Good, keep that. Now go ahead as you come to the center line and ask him to walk and halt. And let's change the side range to the upper position. I want to see how he does. We bring him up a little more into a working frame today, now that we've got him moving a little bit. So now we're going to move the side reins up onto the D rings off of the top of the saddle, which more imitates how we would ride and where the position of the reins would be. Because we never want to bring a horse into working gaits by shortening them on the side, because then the horse ends up just behind the bridle. So much better to put them up on the side so that it mimics more what we would do with our hands instead of just pulling them over.
We do right.
Okay, that's fine. Go in this direction. That's good.
First, and I did right.
There we go. So you'll know your horse is ready to do this, because if you try it, they'll stretch into the contact. But as you see, there's nothing stopping the horse from putting its head straight in the air if it wants to, like this. So this is a good test of whether or not your horse is ready to begin the process of coming up from the stretch and being able to work up into working gaits. That's really quite nice. I'll go ahead and ask him to trot. He's a little bit pokey here today. He probably feels the difference in the footing and the deeperness, a little, probably even more than the other one does. That's actually quite good. Keep that going. You can get a little more activity out of him. A little bit harder work for him here. Keep it going for a moment. See if he settles into it. This is the horse, as we know, he always has his little moments in the beginning where it's kind of like, oh, do I really need to do this? There we go, like that. That's quite good. Good, that's what we're looking for there, as it begins to stretch into the contact. Very good, I like that. And that's really good. Good, keep that. Notice how his belly has just come up a little bit more. So he's certainly looking a lot more athletic just right from the beginning. No more big hay belly on him anymore. That's really quite good. Keep that going. You can just settle into it. Good. Good, there, good. Keep that going. That's what we're looking for. Very nice. And as you come to the center line, you can let him walk and halt and change directions. That was just what we were looking for him to do. So we weren't letting him stretch all the way down, but he still wanted to stretch into that contact. Now, as you can see with the reins at that length, he could easily just throw his head up in the air if he wanted to. There's nothing holding him in the frame. You can go ahead and trot. Just go ahead and let him trot. We'd like to have the walk really right first, but sometimes when horses are pokey like this, it's good to just get them to go into the trot first and get something flowing. So we can't get the walk to flow sometimes. That's looking better. Good. That's getting better. There we go. Good. Keep that going. And ask him to halt. Not bad at all. Very nicely done. Okay, let's get you up on him. That was really good. I want to move on. I said he looks like he is a little less wanting to move today than we've seen in the past, but I think that probably is something to do with the depth of your footing. But got to a really good place with that. Once again, he didn't come above the bridle. He stretched into it, exactly what we're looking for him to do, even if a little bit reluctant to get going there. So he's like the fat boy in the gym classes. Hard to get him going. How's the weather there?
It's hot today.
Is it?
About, well, 88 is what it says.
Oh, wow. Humidity.
Hotter than normal around here.
We've been lucking out. In our little section of Southern California is like the only place that has stayed really nice all summer so far. So if you go 10 miles from us to over the next hill, it's 100 degrees.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We made the mistake of going to look at another horse trailer the other day that was out there. And of course, the guy said, oh, two little rust spots. We drove 2 hours out in the desert to get there. The entire trailer was completely rusted out. All the guy did take spray paint and sprayed it over the top of the rust. Just drives you crazy, things like that. You can go ahead and take your side reins off, of course.
Yeah. I saw your training with the trailer. That was really good to see.
Yeah. Well, we wanted this trailer that we have is a very nice trailer, but it's a little bit narrow. So we wanted something a little set up a little differently. But compared to this thing we went and looked at the other day.
Yeah. I tagged Sam because last year when he was here, oh my gosh, it was like a long ordeal to get those horses back on the trailer to go home.
That's why you got to do it every day for a while. It has to become part of the thing until it's just very normal, until they get used to it. It's no big deal. Especially where we are, because we could have a fire on us at any second, so we can't afford to be having an hour to get them on the trailer,
Yeah.
But Lip was such a wild thing. They got him on the trailer. It took a while when we brought him here, but you don't want to work on that till they're halfway civilized anyway. He is now.
Problem is, Samate doesn't have a trailer. I was like, maybe we should give him our trailer for a little while.
Yeah, just because it's kind of what you
did. Just feeding breakfast every day there. It's like
yeah, food. When I was a kid, we just put a trailer out in the field and let them walk in it and eat every day. Then pretty soon they just walk in it, no big deal. But food always goes a long way.
I have to say, it is really hard walking on this. So I think
yeah. If you feel it, he's the same way.
Yeah.
No different for them.
I feel like I just did a massive workout on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. On a dry beach.
Told us we would have this way. The other topic was to get with that paraffin, which is like the thing they're all doing these days. Have to water it ever. It was really expensive to do that. So.
Yeah. Did you say you put some of that stuff that tries to hold the moisture in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, but yeah, good idea.
She suggested
actually.
Too. So.
All right, Calvin. All right, let's go large in the walk. Ready to go to work. Always take that few minutes when you first get on the horse to stretch yourself up. Let your legs stretch down, lift your toes up. So I always got to feel like when I'm riding, I always keep lightly lifting my toe up. We never want to push our heels down, as many instructors tell people. When you push your heel down, it pushes your leg out in front of you. So if you think of just lifting your toe and letting your leg reach down from the heel. There we go. Let's take a few moments to just walk around like this as we begin to maximize the walk step a little bit as he stretches into it. Always being gradual in our demands. We don't just jump on and start asking for things. And just continue going large in the walk. When you get to the other end, we'll turn after the center line and leg yield to the left. Good. I like how that one started right as you came around the turn. That was really good. Good step over. Very nice. That was very nicely done. Go ahead and change the rein across the next diagonal. I'm a big believer I don't do things over and over again. If I think I can improve something, I come back to it. But that was really quite good. So no need to do it again right now. Move on to the next thing. Changing the rein across the diagonal. We'll do the same thing the other way. After you change on the diagonal, we'll turn after the center line and leg yield to the right. Good. And once again, that started quite nicely. Now on the circle at this end, we're going to let him stretch all the way down for a moment. Let him stretch all the way down, getting it a little deeper. Always remember, if you need to get it deeper, we have to go a little more shoulder forward, engaging that inside hind leg a little more. There you go. It's starting to happen now. There you go. A little bit deeper for a moment, still a little more active. Give him a little tap behind your leg there and get a little more step out of him. A little deeper into the stretch again. Soften him a little bit with your fingers there a little bit. That's getting better. Keep that going a little more. There we go, like that. Good job, like that. Now, as you come around to this side, begin to shorten your range. Now we're going to bring him more up into a working walk. So trying to keep the same step. The goal is always to keep the same step once we get him swinging over his back. And then we shorten our range a little bit, bringing the pole a little bit higher is all we need to think about. But keep maintaining the same step is what's important. And is what, depending on how high we can bring them, is whether or not they drop their back out from underneath us. Keep shortening your range a little bit more. You can bring them on up a little bit more, letting your range come a little bit shorter there. Like that. Now go ahead and go large in the walk. Sorry, I had to step out there a minute. I had a cat that was about to jump on top of my computer center there. Good. There. Now we'll do a little shoulder forward down the next long side, maintaining that working position. Or the working position for him today, I would say. And that's going to change as the horse advances in training, or even from the beginning to the end of the workout. It's a little, there you go, like that. Remember, not more bend at the neck than there is in the middle of the body, which is right into your seat. That's quite good there. Bring him into your outside rein. That's quite good. Now on the circle here, maintain him in that position there. Riding a circle here and more of a working walk. If you feel like you lose it a little bit, then let him down and feel like you let him down to the stretch again, get it active, and then bring him back up again. A little bit more active in that step. Go large again, begin to shorten your range again, bringing him up. We'll try to maintain a little more activity. And we're going to turn by the center line and do a leg yield now to the right. Now bring him up a little bit. Use your outside rein a little bit. Let your outside range cook, but both reins shorten, but you want to start with the outside a little bit there. So you keep him in that outside rein like that. There, that's a better walk right there. And see how the shoulder in helps you maintain that frame a little bit because it keeps him stepping up, bringing his back up underneath you. Good. Now let him stretch all the way down again and change the rein across the diagonal. Good, that's quite good. Could have a little more active step. That's a pretty good stretch there. So as you reach the other side of the diagonal there, begin to bring him up more into the working walk again and turn by the center line and leg yield to the left. Good. That was quite nice. Good. Good job. That was actually very nice. Keep that going. Now straight. And prepare to trot. I'm going to wait till you get on the next so you're heading away from me when I ask you to trot. That's a pretty nice working walk. Now it's getting a little flat now. It's beginning to sort of lose that, what you had there for a moment. I'm not going to worry too much about the transition here. Just keep yourself steady contact where it is and ask him to trot. Just working on a circle there for a moment. So we get him a little more active and beginning to stretch into the contact. Always remembering that we can't do much with the reins until something starts to swing through the body of the horse. So we never want to be trying to take hold or manipulate the frame of the horse until he begins to just swing forward like that. Get a good stretch out of him. Very good. And that was just the right thing to do, how you widen your hand there to take up the slack. And once again, this is not how you go ride in a show ring. You shouldn't be having to do that by the time you want to take a horse to a horse show. But these are things we do in the beginning of training in order to deal with some of the things that horses do, like coming up and down when we're coming up and down more often, or they're trying to come up themselves. And just a little more, needs just a little more impulsion in that drop. Not quite enough energy in it, so we like the stretch. Go ahead and go large and maintain that. See if you can just open it up a little bit gradually. It's not going to happen instantly, but as we go, as he gets more in the swing of things, so to speak, just keep that going large around the arena. Let him stretch all the way down.
Oh, maybe he had a poop or something. I guess not. That's just a protest. Come on.
It does look like he's trying to raise his tail. I think that is what he's doing there. Always let them go when they need to go. Always a mistake to beat horses up and try to keep them going. Some people argue, well, I can't let my horse slow down. I might be in the show ring. Well, you know, if you've done a proper warm-up, it would be very rare that the horse would have to stop and go to the bathroom in the show. But once again, if it happens, it happens. You know, if you keep forcing them every time they want to relieve themselves, they start not relieving themselves, and you'll never get the same result out of the horse if it needs to go and can't. That's it. Just keep opening that up again. Once again, take your circle there and let him back into the stretch again on your circle. That's looking much better. Oh, good. That's getting better. And again, go large. Now begin to bring him up from that stretch. So you're going to just begin to shorten your range, letting his pole come up a little bit, but try not to lose that energy that you have, even though it's not real great today. He's going, it's harder working here. Go ahead and circle right there. That's starting to look pretty good. Right there is good. So now we always want to feel that the horse wants to stretch in to the contact. But at some point, just like we did with the side reins, we simply are limiting how far he's going to stretch down until we ask him to stretch all the way. Not bad there. Good. Let him have the stretch all the way down now. Once again, a little top of your leg. Try to get a little more active when he's in that position like that. Now go large and see if you can open him up a little down the next long side. Try to see if we can lengthen the stride, even if it's only a small bit, or feel a little more activity. Think of just going a little faster right now. There you go. That's getting better. Good. That's much better now. Keep going like that. And then as you get on the next long side, then you can bring him up, start to shorten your range a little bit and bring him up. Good. Much better there. Turn after the center line and do a leg yield to the left in the trot. Remember to correct your rising diagonal. You're on the wrong one right now. There you go, right there. And then leg yield to the left. Really good. That's actually really nice one right there. Excellent work right there. Keep that going. Yeah, remember, you're deciding now how deep he can stretch or how high he comes. Right there, it's good. So if he starts to initiate wanting more stretch, don't let him at first. In other words, just by giving and taking a little bit, don't let him just hang on your hands, and bring him up a little bit to there. That's actually looking much better now. That was really a good leg yield before. Go ahead and do that one more time. Come up as you make the turn like that. Good. That's really quite nice. Change the rein across the next diagonal. And once again, beware of whether he's stretching or not. You decide how far he stretches or doesn't. Keep that. That's a pretty good position right there. Not a bad working trot for him. Good. Keep that. Very nice now. Go large again down the next long side, asking for a little bit of lengthening if you can on the long side, and then turn after the center line and leg yield to the right. Really good. Let's do good steps. Keep that. But now as you go large down the next long side, let him stretch all the way down and try to open the stride up. So see if you can ask for a little more activity, but let him stretch down while he does it. So it'll be easier for him. Like that. Good. Like that. Good. Very good. Now, as you come to the end of the long side, bring him back up again. And hopefully maintain a little bit of that energy that you created going down the long side. There you go. Just like that. That was really nicely done. Right there. Keep it. Go large again. Keep him there in the more middle position there. And circle in the center of the arena right there. Look around your circle. Trying to remember to bring your outside leg back when you circle from your hip. Putting yourself in the position of the turn like that. Good. Go ahead and go large again. And once again, let him go into the stretch and lengthen the stride down the next long side. Good. Oops. Just hit a little spot there. Go ahead and do that again down the next long side. We didn't quite get as good a response as we got on the other one on the other side. So do that again, letting them go into the stretch. Just keep opening it up. There you go, like that. And then let him stretch down. Give him a little more rain. Let him see if he'll stretch into that a little better for you. There you go, like that. Good. Keep that going. Now go ahead and lengthen on down the next long side. Keep it going. Good. I like that. Good. There you go. Now we're good. Just stalling a little bit. And go large again. Once again, just lengthen a little bit, going away from me. Let him stretch all the way down. Wherever he's happy. Like that. Good, good, good. Like that. Now we're there. Now begin to bring him up again as you come into the corner there, coming through the short side. We're going to just bring him up a little bit like that. Good job. Good. Keep that now as you go large. And change the rein across the next diag. Good. I like that. Now, once again, letting him stretch all the way down and lengthen going away from me a little bit to see if you can increase the tempo a little bit. It picks up a little speed like that. Yeah. And then as you good right there, very nice. Now begin to bring him up as you come to the corner. The corner will also help you. The turn will help you keep him balanced and get that hind end coming up underneath himself. Just let it come up there a little bit like that. Very nice. Right about there is a good working trot for him right there. Very good. Keep that right there. It's really nice. How does that feel now? That's just where it should be. For him, that's really good. Keep that and just go large. Maintaining that. Now that you've got it, let's see if you can maintain it a little bit. And this time we'll turn after the center line and do a leg yield to the left. Maintain the working frame about there for him. Very nice. Get a few steps over. Really good. Very nice. Maintain that. And once again, let him stretch all the way down and lengthen going away from me. Trying to get a little bit bigger swing in the trot. As he stretches down, just keeping that activity like that. Good, good, good. Now, as you come to the short side again, you're going to bring him up. Find that working position for him, and then do a little shoulder forward down the next long side. Good, about right there is plenty. Good, 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 right there. Good, good, good. Very nice, very nice. Good job. Keep it going. I lost it there for a second. There you go, better frame now. Good, keep it right there. Now keep him right there in the frame and circle here once for us. There, good. Maintain that activity. And now let him stretch all the way down in the circle. You stretch up as he stretches down. Good, like that. Really nice. Keeping that active. And go large again. Lengthen going the rest of the way down the long side, and then bring him up as you come to the short side again. Using the circle, the corner will help you to maintain that position as he comes up. That is the position of engaging the inside hind leg. As you come to the circle, as you come to the corner rather, and then change the rein on the next diagonal. Right there, good. Now, same thing this way. We're going to let him stretch down on the long side and lengthen the stride. And then we're going to bring him up on the short side and do a shoulder four coming back towards me. That's it. And let him have a little more rein. Good, got a little more act. There you go. Got it by the end. Now using the short side just to bring him up and stabilize him, and try for a little shoulder four down the next long side. Not bad there, starting to come. There we go. Oh, stalled out on us there. You okay? Oh, Darcy, I've lost your, I can't hear you any longer. Did you lose your sound? Hello, hello?
Can you hear me or no?
There you are. Okay, so did he just kind of stall on you there? I'm sorry, you're still breaking up. I can't hear. There you go.
It's taking more to like go. That's all.
I'm sorry. It's just I can't understand what you're saying. It's. Can you hear me all right? Yeah. Just nod your head. Yes. Okay. All right. You okay to go back to a trot? We're almost done here. And just come back and just let him go. Let's get him into a stretch and just let him finish out here in a stretch. Let him get deep in the stretch. I think he's about had it for the day here. Oh, yeah. And just keep working the stretch. Just let him stretch back out again to see if we can get him to stretch out, and just keep him active coming down the long side. We want to finish with a good stretch there so he doesn't go away thinking he got to stall out on you there a little bit. Oh, that's better. Keep going there, coming through there. And just go large. Working him forward, let him have a little more rein. Let him have a little more rein and just stretch out ahead of your leg, get him moving again a little bit more actively. There you go, starting to happen there. Keep it going. You just need to get him back in a stretch one more time before we stop. There you go. Now you're getting it. He heard me. Good job. All right. Good there. And you can let him walk there. Very, very nicely done. And come on down the middle, we'll talk about it. I think he was struggling a little bit with the deeper footing in there today, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
And that'll just take him a few days to get used to, and once again, for it to cure, as I say. But really nicely done. I mean, he's coming up, you know, once you got him swinging and active, he's coming up into a pretty good working trot for you, pretty consistent. But did seem a little lazy today for whatever reason. Yeah. As I said, I think, you know, these kinds of horses are, oh, I have to work that little bit harder, as you've had to work all the way along with him. So really great job, though. But he's looking really good. And just seeing him walk out, he looks so much fitter, you know, just generally before we even started, you know, all that sort of fat pockets along his flanks and things have disappeared, and all of that, which all makes a big difference. So I'm sure it will take a few days before he gets happy in this footing.
Yeah.
Question today.
I don't have any.
Are you okay? Are you out of breath? Did I work you too hard? You should have told me. I can't tell because I'm sitting here. That's the one thing hard about the remote lessons. I have no idea how hot it is or how hard you're working. But don't ever be afraid to say, I need a little break here for a second, because I really can't tell because I'm not there. But I could see that he was trying to tire out there a little bit on us. So great job today. Great job. All right, you guys, that was a wonderful day today. Couldn't be happier with both of them.
Yep.
Super work. Yeah.
Great.
All right, so I'll see you. When will I see you guys again? Next week, back to Thursday again. So this coming Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll see you Thursday at 3 o'clock my time, unless our other student wants to chime in there, in which case we'll start a little later. Yep.
Yep. 6 p.m. Eastern. Yep. Thanks.
Yep. Okay, you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys in October. We'll all, for those gosh watching, we'll be at their place October 7th through the 11th, I believe it is. And having a good time. So looking forward to coming to Ithaca. Hopefully it isn't closed down by the time I get there. Hoping for the best. All right, you guys, thank you very much. And I'll see you soon. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank Ron and Darcy for letting us join in, letting you guys join in and work along with them.